and do a presentation. I asked some students to be there. We had a pretty good turnout. I had our registrar was there, bookstore folks were there, and we were in between new presidents at that time. Our president leaving, wonderful person, great guy, was also like me when it came to technology and where we were advancing as the college. And we really weren't out there and doing things as an institution as well other institutions were. Our library was asking permission to put some stuff on Facebook, and at that time we were like, we don't know if we want to do that. Our library's twittering. Our library is very out there and active now on Facebook, doing some great things. Our interim president was from in-house, said, go, do whatever you want, start moving us forward, take us there. And our new president is all about technology, and it's all about moving forward. So it's a great time for me to be doing my dissertation, but moving forward and learning all these different things. Regroup is a chance for you to communicate better. For us on a campus, we issue email addresses to all our students. Do they use them? No, but they would love to forward them to someplace else. And in the course of all that, I started reading a book, and I recommend this book highly. It's called Socialnomics. It is all about where students are coming from. And I just want to give you some of the statistics that you'll get in this. Here's one that's off to the side. In 2008, of the marriages that were taking place, 1 in every 4 had met somehow online. So keep that in mind. But here's some other things. In 2009, the U.S. Department of Education study revealed that on average, online students outperform those receiving face-to-face instruction. Now, for those of us that are doing online distance learning classes, at least on our campus, we are struggling to make sure that those students are better retained and doing some things. That could just be something that's different for community colleges. I don't know, but the 2009 U.S. Department is saying that those students are outperforming. 1 in 6 higher education students are enrolled in online curriculum. 80% of Twitter users are twittering outside of Twitter. People update anywhere, anytime, and imagine what that means if there's bad customer experiences, or if your students aren't happy with what they're getting, or they're not happy with whether you're selling Starbucks or Friendly's coffee or whatever on campus. Imagine what's out there that we have to stay abreast of. Generation Y and Z consider email passé, and recently Boston College, 2009, decided to stop using email addresses altogether because they're just not working, they're not effective. I guarantee you that's going to be setting the pace for where we're going. The second largest search engine in the world right now, you know, it's YouTube. Students are using that. I'm going to show you something on YouTube later on. There are over 200 million blogs going on. 54% of all bloggers are posting tweeters every day, tweeters, whatever the word is that you're supposed to be using. Because of the speed at which social media enables communication, word of mouth has now become world of mouth. You're reaching far more people out there by what you're posting, what you're doing. 24 of the 25 largest newspapers are experiencing record declines in circulation because we no longer search for the news finds us. More than 1.5 million pieces of content, web links, news stories, blog posts, notes, photos, etc. are being shared right on Facebook daily. So there's a need for us to be going out there. Our students know how to find that information. We also need to be out there where our students are. And so our Regroup is one way that we can be doing that. And I want to show you what we're doing. We're using it on campus. And one of the options that I'd like to make to this group is to consider, maybe as community colleges, there's a way for us to connect to all of our community college students within the state university system. Neat tool. There's a way that I can post information and talk to people at Penn State. And I was talking about some of this research that I'm doing, and there's a person at Penn State that's doing stuff, and I could connect through Regroup in doing this. So I'm going to turn it over to Chris Utah, who has become my new best friend. The other thing I have to tell you about Regroup service, customer service is state of the art. And when we were posting Wednesday, I was doing a program with the Student Government Association, and I was teaching other students what to do with Regroup. And one of our students was online, and Matt from Regroup was responding immediately to the questions that we were posting. I'm like, we can't find that anywhere else. It's the best customer service, so thank you. So I'm going to introduce Chris from Utah, and the other one that I work with is Joe. Wave again. Joe is sitting in the back. Joe DePasquale is also with Regroup, and I've asked him to come and do your thing. Thank you
So much, Martha. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your time this morning, and thank you for the opportunity to present to you and tell you a little bit more about Regroup. For those of you who aren't already familiar with Regroup, it'd probably be helpful for me to give you a quick background and just tell you our story. Regroup got its start about 3 years ago. It was actually founded by students for students. It was founded by 3 students out at Stanford University And despite being in different class years, despite being in different areas of study, they all recognize this need for the students on campus to be able to more easily and quickly communicate, to be able to more easily communicate with one another. So not enough coffee this morning. So something as simple as setting up a group for a class project took so much administrative involvement, and it was so much of a hassle. Students then, as they are in many cases today, were going to third-party platforms. They were going to Yahoo groups, they were going to Google groups, they were going to Facebook. They were going away from the school because there was nothing school provided that was easy for them to use. So these gents created their own platform. They based it off of open source wiki code at the time. It was very basic, but it was also very popular. It spread quickly through these students' class years, spread through different areas of study. It spread so quickly, and it actually spread virally to hundreds of college campuses around the country. It spread virally to these universities, and to a point where, not even a year into it, these three gentlemen were supporting the use of tens of thousands of users at hundreds of organic networks around the country that had just sprung up. They never tried to promote it, they never tried to market it, it just took off. So it was a very exciting time. When they left Stanford, there was very little question as to what they were going to do. They dove headlong into Regroup. They refined the product offering even more. They gave it social media integration to a point where today it integrates seamlessly with Facebook, with Twitter, with SMS. And so that they actually ended up getting, catching the eye of a group of investors. The founders of Sun Microsystems, through a venture called High Bar Ventures, caught wind of Regroup, ended up pumping several $1 million into it. Since then it's been offered to colleges and universities on a software as a service basis. So that is a very condensed 3 years for you, but that's the history, and that brings us up to our meeting today, and that's our story. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we do, and then I'm going to dive right into it and show you the nuts and the bolts. It's always much easier to see than it is to hear about it. We've had some great success over at Schenectady. We have successfully helped schools mitigate, multiple issues, and whether these schools are, have very high traditional populations, pardon me, or non-traditional populations, as many of your schools do. There's a host of issues that kind of spread across the board. I think number one is going to be the issue that Martha mentioned, and that is kind of this desensitization to email, especially email from administrators. Students are not paying attention to email coming to them from the administration. If it's coming over a .edu, I think it's even less likely. And this is something that is certainly spread across the board, even to our more traditional schools with those traditional populations. So that's one issue, and we have successfully helped schools mitigate that by enabling the schools to reach out to their constituents. By their constituents, I mean admitted students, I mean current students, and even alums, and broadcasting messaging to them over mediums that are relevant to the recipients. Regroup enables the recipients of this messaging to go into their system and very quickly update their preferences. They can add any third-party email address they want if they're not interested in getting information over .edu. They can choose to get their updates online. They can choose to get their updates over Twitter, over Facebook, over SMS. SMS being, I think, the preferred method of communications these days with the undergrads. So there's a lot of options in there that make Regroup very attractive to both the administration and to the student body. So what I'm going to do is jump right into the demonstration. I'm going to take you through the user experience as you would see it from the front end. So we're going to go through the sign-in process. We are going to create a group together, and we're also going to post a topic and cover the broadcasting options, which I think are going to be the most relevant to you all today, especially as they tie into topics that are top of mind, like H1N1. So we are going to go ahead, fire it up here. Am I blocking anyone's view on the side? Okay. All right. So right now we are at regroup.com. This is our front page. We've invested a lot of time and resources into creating something that would be just as easy for that incoming first-year student to use as for an older faculty member or alum who may not necessarily be that tech savvy. And this is what we came up with. It's got a very Web 2.0 interface. It's extremely user-friendly. And I'm going to take you right into the process here. We've got our great quote from Emily over at Schenectady.